Have you ever noticed? The more you try to defend yourself, the more guilty you look. Let that sink in. Think back to a time when you were misunderstood, criticized, or falsely accused. What was your first instinct? You rushed to explain. You searched for words to clear your name. But something strange happened. The more you talked, the more suspicion grew. Every word became fuel for their doubts, as if your defense was proof you had something to hide. This is the silent trap of justification. The harder you fight to prove yourself, the more power you hand over to your accuser. Centuries ago, Machiavelli understood this. And the Stoic teacher Epictetus warned, "Don't waste your breath proving your innocence. Live in such a way that truth itself is your defense." Today, we're going to uncover why defending yourself weakens you, and how silence, presence, and discipline can make you untouchable. Stay with me until the end, because what you'll discover may change the way you respond to every challenge in life. And if you want more timeless lessons like this, consider subscribing to The Stoic Habit, where ancient wisdom becomes your weapon for modern strength. Chapter 1. Why defending yourself makes you weaker. When you defend yourself, you are already conceding ground. Think about it. The very moment you rush to explain, you signal something dangerous. This accusation matters. It has weight. And by doing so, you step into the courtroom of someone else's making. You place yourself on trial without realizing you agreed to play the role of the accused. Seneca once wrote, "The more a man argues to free himself from blame, the more he entangles himself in it." He understood something most people still miss. Words of defense often tighten the chains instead of breaking them. Why? Because psychology works against you. Human beings naturally assume, if you were truly innocent, you wouldn't feel the need to protest so hard. Real innocence carries a quiet confidence. Guilt or insecurity screams for validation. Picture two people. One is calm, unshaken, answering accusation with stillness. The other is frantic, desperate to convince the world. Which one do you instinctively trust more? Let the image sink in. The frantic explainer always looks weaker, because by defending, you are no longer leading, you are reacting. And reaction is the opposite of power. The Stoics knew this well. They taught that peace of mind is strength, and that stillness in the storm is proof of mastery. To stay calm under fire is not passivity, it is dominance. So the next time you are misunderstood or attacked, remember this truth. Every unnecessary word of defense chips away at your presence. But every measured pause, every calm silence, builds an aura that no one can easily pierce. Don't hand over your authority to the crowd. Don't let your enemies dictate the frame. Instead, hold your ground. Let your life, your discipline, and your results do the speaking. Because in the end, true power never begs to be understood. It simply is. Chapter 2. The Power of Silence. Silence. At first glance, it looks like weakness. But to those who understand power, it is the sharpest blade. When you refuse to defend yourself, something fascinating happens. You create space. And in that space, tension begins to grow. Your accusers expect a fight. They expect you to react, to scramble, to fill the silence with excuses. But when you don't, when you simply stand calm, it unsettles them. Suddenly, the spotlight turns. Why isn't he responding? Why isn't she explaining? The doubt shifts away from you and begins to consume them. This is the secret. Silence doesn't leave you exposed. It leaves them exposed. It forces their insecurities, their motives, their exaggerations into the open. Epictetus once reminded his students, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Your life should be your argument. Your discipline should be your testimony. No words required." Think of the great leaders of history. The general who simply raised his hand and the army grew silent. The philosopher who met insults not with anger, but with a steady gaze. Or Marcus Aurelius, who wrote in his private journal, "Be like the rock against which the waves crash, and it stands firm, while the raging sea falls still around it." This is the essence of silence. It is not retreat, it is resistance. It is not emptiness, it is presence. In a noisy world where everyone shouts, where everyone explains, where everyone demands to be understood, silence is rare. And what is rare becomes valuable. That is why silence commands attention. So the next time you are provoked, don't rush to defend. Smile, stay still. Let the silence burn. Because in that burning, people reveal who they truly are. And you remain untouchable. Chapter 3. Controlling the frame, the true game of power. Every conversation, every conflict, every accusation is a battle for the frame. The frame is the invisible stage where the rules are set. If you defend yourself, you've already accepted their frame. You've stepped into their world, played by their rules. And in that moment, you've lost. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. In other words, he chose the frame. He refused to be dragged into the drama others tried to create. When someone questions your worth, your instinct is to explain. But the moment you explain, you're no longer the author of the story. You're just a character in their script. Think of it like a chessboard. If you only react to every move, you're not playing, you're being played. The true master dictates the pace, the rhythm, the very shape of the game. And here lies the paradox. The less you defend, the more control you hold. The calmer you remain, the more the frame bends in your favor. This doesn't mean silence in every case. It means you decide when to speak, and on what terms. You speak to establish your ground, not to please or to beg. You act from principle, not from pressure. Epictetus taught his students, no one can harm you unless you allow it. He wasn't denying reality, he was pointing to the frame. Harm only exists if you agree to see yourself as harmed. So the next time life pulls you into a corner, ask yourself, whose frame am I standing in right now? If it isn't yours, step back, redraw the lines, take back the stage. Because the true game of power isn't about reacting louder, it's about controlling the very ground on which the battle is fought. Chapter 4. When silence speaks louder than words. There are moments when silence is not just absence, it is presence. It is a declaration louder than any speech. Imagine this. Someone mocks you in front of a crowd. They wait for your anger, your defense, your desperate words. But instead, you smile. You remain steady, as if their words barely scratch the surface of your soul. In that instant, the power shifts. Because what you didn't say becomes more powerful than anything you could have said. If they call you arrogant, smile. If they call you dangerous, nod. If they question your motives, give them nothing. Your silence forces them to wrestle with their own doubts. It leaves a question echoing in their minds. Why isn't he defending himself? What does he know that we don't? Seneca observed this truth when he wrote, "The greatest reply to insult is silence, not because silence hides weakness, but because it radiates strength." Think of silence as fire. The more someone fans it, the hotter it burns. But you remain untouched, while they are consumed by the flames of their own agitation. This is why silence is not retreat. It is offense in disguise. It doesn't beg for approval. It commands respect. And in a world drowning in noise where everyone is shouting, posting, explaining, your silence will stand out like thunder. So the next time you're pushed, accused, or cornered, don't rush to fill the air. Let silence speak for you. Because when used with wisdom, silence doesn't just protect your power, it multiplies it. Chapter 5. Modern examples of silent power. Powerful silence is not just an ancient idea. You can see it today, everywhere if you know where to look. Think of a CEO at a press conference. The media hurls accusations, questions designed to provoke a mistake. Everyone expects a frantic defense. But instead, he says only, "Let the results speak." And then he stops talking. That silence, more than any speech, makes the room lean in. Or imagine a courtroom. One lawyer shouts, pounds the table, trying to dominate. The other simply waits, listens, and then, in a calm voice, asks a single question that changes everything. The silence before that question was the real weapon. Even in personal life, this truth applies. Think about an argument with a partner, a friend, or a colleague. When one person explodes in anger and the other stays calm, who truly has the upper hand? The silent one. Because self-control is always more powerful than control over others. Social media shows us the opposite. Most people overshare. They feel the need to explain, to prove, to defend. And the more they do, the less power they hold. But those who speak less, those who let their actions define them, they command attention without asking for it. Epictetus would call this living your philosophy. Not talking about it, not defending it, but showing it. So in today's world, silence is not outdated. It is rare. And because it is rare, it is valuable. The lesson is simple. Whether in the boardroom, the courtroom, or your living room, the one who controls their tongue controls the frame, and the one who controls the frame controls the outcome. Chapter 6. The difference between arrogance and true strength. Silence can be misunderstood. Some see it as weakness, others mistake it for arrogance. But true Stoic silence is neither. It is not a mask of pride. It is the discipline of self-mastery. Arrogance says, "I am too important to answer you." True strength says, "I don't need to answer you." See the difference? One is built on insecurity, on the need to appear greater. The other is built on confidence, on the inner knowledge that nothing needs proving. Seneca warned of this subtle trap. He wrote, "We are not born for the applause of the crowd, but for the approval of our own conscience." The arrogant man seeks applause. The strong man seeks alignment with himself, with nature, with reason. Think about the people you admire most. Do you respect them because they shouted the loudest, or because they carried themselves with calm presence, even when provoked? Arrogance demands recognition. Strength doesn't ask. It simply shines, quietly, undeniably. And this is where Stoic silence finds its beauty. It is not empty. It is full of conviction, full of discipline, full of purpose. When you remain calm under insult, you are not saying, "I am better than you." You are saying, "Your words do not control me." That is not arrogance. That is freedom. Marcus Aurelius lived this distinction every day. As emperor, he could have silenced anyone with power. Instead, he chose to silence himself, training his mind to remain steady. Not to prove superiority, but to remain sovereign over his own soul. So remember this. Don't confuse stillness with pride, silence with strength, because arrogance isolates you, but true strength elevates you. Chapter 7. When to speak and how to do it with power. Stoicism does not teach us to stay silent forever. There are moments when words are necessary, but those words must be chosen with precision, not poured out in desperation. The weak man speaks because he cannot hold his tongue. The strong man speaks because silence itself commands the room, and when he finally chooses to break it, everyone listens. Epictetus advised, "Only speak if it improves upon silence." This is the measure. If your words add clarity, protection, or truth, speak them. If they only serve your pride or fear, remain silent. Think of a seasoned general. He does not shout commands in panic. He waits for the right moment, then gives one clear order, and the entire army moves. His power lies not in the number of words, but in their weight. In daily life, this means, don't waste breath on petty arguments. Don't explain your worth to those who have already decided not to see it. Save your voice for the moments that matter. And when you do speak, speak with calm authority. Let your tone reflect control, not chaos. Let your message be sharp, not scattered. Seneca once wrote, "Speech is to be measured not by the number of words, but by the effect." One sentence of truth can cut deeper than an hour of excuses. So, learn to master both silence and speech. Silence builds presence. Speech, when rare and purposeful, delivers impact. The world does not need more noise. It needs voices that carry weight. Be that voice, not by speaking often, but by speaking only when your words can move hearts, shift minds, and command respect. Chapter 8. Daily Practices to Master Silence and Speech. Wisdom is not built in a single moment of insight. It is forged in daily practice. Small acts of discipline that slowly shape who you are. If you want to master silence and speech, you must train, just as a soldier trains with his weapon. Start simple. Each morning, before the noise of the day begins, take 1 minute of stillness. No phone, no words. Just breathe. This teaches your mind that silence is not empty. It is full of strength. Next, practice restraint in conversation. Choose one moment each day where you would normally rush to explain yourself, and instead remain silent. Notice how the moment changes. Notice how people reveal more when you give them the space. Then, sharpen your speech. Carry a journal. When you feel the urge to argue, write down your thoughts first. This creates distance between emotion and expression. When you finally speak, your words will be measured, clear, and powerful. Another exercise. At the end of each day, reflect. Ask yourself, where did I waste words today? Where did silence serve me better? Did my words improve upon silence or weaken it? Marcus Aurelius treated his journal as a battlefield of the mind. You can do the same. It is in reflection that progress is made. And remember, mastery is not about never failing. You will slip. You will speak when you should have been silent. You will stay silent when words were needed. That is part of the training. But each failure is a teacher. Each practice a step closer to mastery. Silence and speech are not opposites. They are partners, two blades of the same sword. Your task is to learn when to sheath and when to strike. Chapter 9. Silence as the ultimate weapon of power. Silence is not just a shield. It is also a sword. A weapon sharper than anger, louder than argument, and more lasting than applause. When you remain silent, you deny your enemies the reaction they crave. You rob them of control, and in their frustration, they reveal themselves. Their impatience, their insecurity, their weakness. This is the hidden genius of silence. It forces others to play all their cards, while you keep yours close to your chest. Think of a negotiator. The side that speaks least often walks away with the best deal. Why? Because silence creates pressure. It makes the other side fill the void with concessions. Think of an argument. The louder one shouts, the more desperate he looks. The calmer one stays, the more powerful he appears. Even in war, silence is used as strategy. The quiet army, waiting in stillness, unsettles the enemy far more than one that makes noise. Because silence suggests readiness. It whispers, "We are prepared. We do not need to announce ourselves." Seneca wrote, "He who is secure within himself needs no witness." True warriors, true leaders, true Stoics, they do not fight with constant words. They fight with presence. And presence, rooted in silence, is unbreakable. In a world obsessed with noise, silence becomes rare. And what is rare becomes powerful. So treat silence as your ultimate weapon, not to hide, not to run, but to dominate without even raising your voice. When others crumble under pressure, you remain unmoved. When others seek validation, you remain sovereign. This is the paradox of silence. The less you use it, the more powerful it becomes. Conclusion: never defend life as the proof. You don't need words to prove your worth. Let your discipline, your calm presence, and the life you build be your testimony. When accused, stay silent. When mocked, smile. When doubted, let results answer. Do not play defense. Be the fortress no storm can move. As Machiavelli warned, and as the Stoics lived, the strong never explain their very existence is enough. If this message resonates, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom and drop a comment below. I choose silence over defense.